Fight on! Jacob! Saberwolf! Glacius! Thunder! Sekiro! Orchid! Coming soon! Final! Fulgor! Combo breaker! Counter breaker! To the zero!
A game that goes way back with me, actually one that was one of my top, I'd say 5 fighting games, was Killer Instinct. I gave up on this game because after the N64 release, there was a long, dead silence. I thought this game was packed up. A lot of games you play as a kid and years ago, they either never made a comeback on next platform systems. So years and years went by, and I kind of lost hope in it of ever resurrecting, coming back. And this is at a time where I was going to college. My gaming kind of took a hiatus. It just wasn't around anymore. I didn't have a lot of time anymore to game. I didn't have a lot of time because obviously my focus was in studies and getting my degree, so I kind of got away from video gaming altogether, and I didn't see a startup in sight until the Xbox One came out, and lo and behold, out of nowhere, wouldn't think it would come back in a million years, I see a trailer for KI, a brand new system with all new graphics, all new console, all new everything, and it blew me away. I just, it was such a shock and such a surprise because nobody saw this coming. And of course, this is going to be on the next gen of, console gaming, so that alone was really interesting. And I just could not wait to get my hands on it. I have a lot to thank for this game coming out because not only did it bring me back into fighting games, and not only did it pique my interest to get back into gaming, but it also started my YouTube channel. I wanted to start doing gaming vids of all kinds because, I go back to shooters, fighters, RPGs, you name it, racing, and this is what gave me that, desire. I remember watching Maximilian. I didn't know his channel at the time, and he was just all loving this, and watching his videos and watching other people play this fighting game kind of made me want to. He made it exciting. He made it, the commentating, the graphics, the characters are back. Some of the people I used to main are coming, and I just couldn't wait to try it out. They had a ranking system, and I just wanted to be the best at this. I just threw everything. This is the only game I played, that and a little bit of COD, but mostly just KI. I just wanted to rank up. I wanted to unlock all the skins. I wanted to find who my main character would be. And so I just got into practice mode, and I would try to get large combos, critique my form, get better and better. And it was tough. There was some people that, like any other game, that just abused the hell out of it and just played and played and played. And first off, I'd get, I'd lose a lot, but you get better and better and better. And as I went through, it was hard finding certain characters because I picked Thunder and Glacius, I believe, were my go-tos. And I always wanted to be Thunder because he just was a big, powerful guy, and they buffed him up compared to what he used to look like in the SNES days, and he just hit like a freight train. He was slow, but man, I don't know, something about his combos and his timing and people pulling off manuals and stuff. That was so cool, dude, when you pulled stuff off and made people lock out where they couldn't respond in time, and doing counter breakers and all that kind of stuff. But he just felt good. There's always some fighter or character in a game where it just feels right, you know. You get the timing down, man, and his look was pretty cool. Like the skins and stuff they gave him were awesome. But like any other fighting game, every character has like a weakness. So other characters that were quicker, like Jago and stuff, they were giving me a hard time because their attacks were a little faster. They could pull off things that I couldn't attack with. So naturally, you know, you got to pick a couple of characters so you can counter others. It's like a chess game. And I remember my dog came down the steps one day, and you know, was just down there while I was playing, and her name was Smokey, and she's a little dog, but she's very aggressive, you know. And I remember looking over and thinking Saberwolf maybe. So I ended up like trying to play Saberwolf and getting better, and the wolf, as we called her, so fast, man, like, you know, dog speed and reaction time. So it's like, let's try this out, because people were getting, you know, hits on me and stuff. And I ended up bringing Saberwolf as one of my mains and went way up the charts. I remember, I think I got up between Saberwolf and Thunder, I got up to the top 8 in the country on one of their scoreboards, and that was unheard of. I've never gotten that high ranked in a video game in my life, like with online play. I've been to competitions before, but I never like got to that kind of level. And Killer Instinct was one of those games where I pulled that off, and that was kind of exciting for me. But it's kind of funny because when Halloween came around, I was like, well, I have the dog to thank for that. I even dressed the dog up as Saberwolf one year. It's kind of hilarious. I went to Goodwill, got jeans like that belong on a 3-year-old, and cut a hole for the tail and put the chains around it, just like the skins you could do, how the character looked in the game. And that was kind of hilarious. You know, you never know where you get inspired from, you know, to make a change. But hey, it worked, and it got me up the ranks, and it's kind of funny. I have the dog kind of to thank for that, you know. So it's kind of a funny little side story there. Another thing I wanted to say was, when I got the old game for the SNES, there was a soundtrack called Killer Cuts, I believe, that came out, and it was the themes for all the levels from the video game. And I remember listening to that soundtrack like crazy, and there was a lot of game soundtracks out there that weren't that great, but I say KI actually did really well. The music really fit the character and their stages and the environment. And I remember it sped up when you got in danger mode to get you kind of like, you know, hyperactive and trying to, you know, do what you could to win the round or stay alive. And it was just kind of like heart pulsing and stuff. And I thought that was so cool how they did that. And then lo and behold, when we go forward to this game, the soundtrack got even better. They hired these really good musicians to come in, and just, it was very rock oriented and heavy, and the environments changed to the music, and just a lot of games don't really hit you like that. It's not that impactful, but this game has one of the best soundtracks out there. And still this day, I like to like jam out to them on my headphones and listen to them from time to time. But I wanted to pull that out there. If you haven't listened to the soundtrack to the game, it's really good. Another thing I have to say with KI is that keeps me coming back, that's very unique from any other fighting game I've played and actually balanced the best, is the combo system. And hear me out here. There's all games that have breaker systems and things like that, but to get to them, you always had to wait or build up meter or sacrifice something to break a combo. The thing I loved about KI and their system was you could break any combo almost at any time if you guessed the right attack that was being performed on you. So there was light attacks, medium attacks, heavy attacks. Each of these had a different speed. If you hit the button in the right time when the combo started, or mid-combo, or the end of the combo, you at least get one try to break the combo. at any point. So you don't have to watch your character get juggled around and just beat the hell out of and take a freaking nap waiting for this combo to end, because some of them are so lengthy and damaging. And it was just annoying because a lot of games did that. 2 combos in, you're pretty much screwed. And once they launched you and it was a juggle, you just had to eat that damage. KI, actually, you will eat the damage if you guess wrong, but it's the fact that I get at least a shot to break it. And usually within the matches, there was about 2 to 3, even possibly 4 times, depending on how far the combo got, that you had a chance to break. And I thought that was great. At least it gives you a chance to guess. So you can at least say, hey, I got a shot at it. I might have guessed wrong, but, you know, like there's still a chance, which keeps me in the game and keeps me coming back for more and thinking I can come back and win a round. I've actually had that happen multiple times. There's also something they add called a counter breaker, which is, it's like playing mind games with your opponent. You lure them in, especially I like to do them with a heavy combo because it was really slow, and then go into a counter hoping they hit a button, and if you time it just right, it locks them out for the additional combo, and you can add more and more damage and get away with it. So it was kind of a risk-reward system. Put it out there, see if they bite. If they don't, you eat the damage. You get punished. But if they do, your combo keeps going, and you can cash out on that. And the last but not least was the Ultra combos. Killer Instinct it was known for having probably the highest hitting numbered combo there is. You could just go and go and go. I think some of them got well over 100 hits. And it was just the ultra way to finish off your opponent, just watching them watch this massive combos. A lot of times I wasn't even mad because I would just see what number people could reach up to when they were doing an ultra combo on me. Because you had a mode called Instinct mode where you could do your ultra, instinct mode it out to cancel it, and then go into a secondary ultra. Now they were kind of challenging because you couldn't drop it, and you got to keep, the buttons going and the sequence going, but I would go a lot of times in practice mode and just try to keep this going and see what the highest numbers people could pull off and how they did it. It was so fun. It was pretty much like KI's way to do a fatality. It was different, and for that game it worked. And I want to say the coolest thing too, the music they added on the hits actually go with the combo. So the soundtrack just blends in with actually not only with the backgrounds, the characters and all that stuff, but actually the hit sequences, which was so cool. I don't think a lot of games do that. You could feel it, it's like it just works. And not only was the music in sync with the combo, but the whole stage changed. Things would break out and explode. Rain would come down, thunderstorms. It just depended where you were. But it was crazy. It felt like as the combo's going, you're destroying the place around you. And then you hear the announcer just go, Ultra Combo! I don't know, just something about that just sends tingles, up your spine when you pull that off. Especially when I first saw it, it felt so cool. Destroy your opponent and then see all that scenery and music going on with it. It just fits the game so well. So needless to say, I played this for several years after the release. So much that I kind of played it. I don't go back to it too often just because just the years and years and years of time behind it. But every once in a while I'll hop on just for old time's sake and play a couple of rounds. But again, great game, good graphics. They did an awesome job. It came out at an awesome time for the Xbox coming out. What a great intro to the console. I have it to thank for honestly getting me back into gaming, creating my YouTube channel, and keeping fighting games relative, because without KI, I don't know if I would have kept going and picked up a lot of other games and started streaming and started recording a lot of the content that people watch today. So KI has a special place in my heart, and I hope people enjoy it and still get competitive, because it's still in tournaments from what I know, and I hope it has a bright future. And who knows, maybe we'll get a second sequel to it. We'll just have to wait and see.